Okay, so I think the best way for me to approach explaining this is to go by the actual SMC handout that they have online. If you search SMC nursing program requirements, it should pop up. It's this slideshow that has all the specifics of what you need to complete in order to get into the program. I'm just gonna skip all the way to the bottom where it has the actual admission criteria. There's a video on YouTube that you can watch. I think it's about an hour long from the college that covers all of this in detail. Go through that so you can understand how your current situation is affected by these requirements. So I'm going to tackle this by order of most points because that's where you want to focus on. So let's see. Let's start with the probably the most important part, which is the science requirements, the prereqs. For the most part, we have three. Okay, we have anatomy, physiology, and microbiome. I'm looking at it as we speak. So the three courses here, you're gonna have to take them one at a time. I have heard of students who've taken physiology and microbiome at the same time. I didn't do that. I was working while I was in school, so I couldn't do that even if I wanted to. But look into it if you have the time. If you're more of a full-time student than a work and student sort of situation. Something important to note, you need to complete them 5 years before applying. So if these are old classes, you have to make sure you take care of that before you go into the other more advanced classes. In order, it's anatomy, phys, and microbiology. So be sure to check on that. I know that I've taken classes with students who just finished microbiology and now they have to go back and take anatomy because it expired. So be sure to check that. These are out of the whole point system. This one takes about 40 points. I think it's also the largest point category here. So this is going to be the bread and butter of the application you're going to submit. Uh, Look at that slideshow that I referenced to. Just remember, just Google the SMC program. It should pop up. Um, 3.5 to 4.0 would be full points, 40 points. 3 to 3.5, 35, and so on. Uh, I personally got all A's in the prereqs. I was taking one class at a time while working, so I kind of had the time to balance study and work. I'll make a separate video about how I did that. But you need to work on the balance, right? You can't just do all school and then no work if you have bills, right? Or all work and no school, because then you'll drop out. Let me reference really quick to under the GPA relevant coursework, the prereqs we're talking about. There's the withdrawal repeat policy. Please pay attention to this because every time you drop because you took on too much or life kind of gets in the way, everybody understands that. That's why it's in the application. But I think it's if you repeat, let's see, only one repetition excluding W in the group of sciences is allowed within the last 5 years. So very specific verbiage there, excluding W. So I should take a class at SMC, right? There's a certain point where you can add the class, you can drop it without it being on your record, and then you can drop it without having a letter grade. That's the W, that's withdraw. Um, I think I only had one withdraw in my prereqs, more in the beginning because I took on too much while working. That's not gonna bode well for you in the application process when it comes time to actually submit your app. So pay attention to that, those deadlines. It's usually around 2/3 of the way in. I know, let's say in fall, if you start in late August, the W deadline is around Thanksgiving. So this will give you a point of reference. So try not to get withdrawals. Try to take these classes one step at a time and don't rush it, please. If it's going to take you 5 years, it's going to take you 5 years, but at least you'll know what you're doing when you graduate with your license and when you take that state test and get your license, okay? Let's see. Okay, so the next point section I want to talk about is the second largest section of the admissions point system, the entrance exam. So this one, I remember when I took this, it was the NLN PACS. Um, that was a hard test. It wasn't hard because it was complex information. It was hard because there weren't too many references to study, and once you take the test, they put a lot of information for you to take in and work on. So for example, we have reading, right? The reading section. They give you these long passages and then you have like 5 to 10 questions at the end. That's how I remember it. And you just had to be really efficient in reading, like skimming fast and getting the main ideas, going to the questions and saying, oh, I need to focus on this part of the reading. I know where that was at because of my skimming. So try to work on that when you get a chance. Usually at the end of, once you finish microbiology, you have to do a whole semester off while you send in your application. In that semester off, you're going to take that test. I suggest, out of all the study reference material that I was able to find, the one that most people agree on is the study material from the actual website. We took the PACS. I took it in spring of 23. So look at the official question and reference guides that they sell for the test. I'm looking at the slideshow now, and it has this, the next, I don't know what the next is. That might be the new thing they're using now, and I'm making this video in July of 24. So study the material that comes from the official website. That's the best I can tell you for that. And you can always ask the nursing office what they recommend, but based on my experience, go with the official questions from the official provider of the test, okay? Okay, the next largest area for the point admission system is the ADN relevant coursework. Essentially, they want you to have all the classes you need to be able to not only finish your degree at the end of the 2 years of the program, but graduate with your nursing degree, right? So you need to have your English, as many of the general ed classes as you can. I remember when we went to orientation for the nursing program, they printed out a sheet of paper that told us what classes we're missing and which ones we've already taken care of. So they'll let you know. But all these classes add up in the point system. For a max of 15 points, you need to take care of English 1, pretty much the first English class you take anyways when you get into SMC. Nursing 17 it also applies here. It's Farm. Farm's a little monster, so make sure to give, I would suggest, if you're working especially, give yourself the semester when you're applying for the program to take pharmacology. That's probably the best time. You do not want to take that while you're in the program. It'll be bad. It's a lot of information on top of the nursing course that you're taking. So try to take it before you actually start the program. But you can get into the program without having taken it. I got into the program without finishing pharm. I did finish nursing 36. That's calculations, nursing calculations. It's a 1 credit class, I think, super easy. Just basic math, algebra will get you through. Just make sure to work on your fractions a little. So that's that section for the ADN relevant coursework, 15 points. Okay, so now the next big section is the relevant work and volunteer experience within the past 5 years. I personally became a CNA and was able to afford my costs of living, even now through school, and manage my time by working as a CNA. So here, let's check this out. For CNA specifically, what I did, for 1,000 hours or more, you get 8 points. This whole section has a max of 10 points. The most points given are to LVNs, psych techs, paramedics, RTs, radiation techs, pretty much a step above CNA. They'll get 2 extra points if they have over 1,000 hours locked in. And then if you volunteer, I think for more than 500 hours, you can get up to 4 points. So, I mean, I think this helps, right? It helps not only because you get into the program, it gives you points for the program admission system, but honestly, now that I'm going through my clinicals compared to the people who don't have healthcare experience, it's a lot easier for me to focus on the nursing stuff and all the bedside manner, the simple things like working with emptying Foley's or taking someone to the restroom or helping them get out of bed. I already know all that stuff by heart. I don't have to worry about learning that while I'm learning nursing. So it's a good idea to be a CNA, or if you're an LVN already, use that experience to just catapult into the actual nursing program. But in summary, just if you can get CNA experience, that'd be great. I know some people who did it for 6, 8 months just to get the experience for the program, and then they just stopped. So if you can do that part-time, might help you with the admissions process. 10 points, 4 to 10 points will help. At least that's what I recommend. I also know people who don't have any healthcare experience who got into the program, so doesn't it's not a deal breaker. Don't let that discourage you from going into the trying to get into SMC. Okay. Okay. The first section here that says academic degrees. If you have an associate's, it's 5 points, or if you have a bachelor's already, it's 5 points. It says that SMC, the AA General Science, is the most used in applications. So I agree. So what I did is before I even started the program, and this automatically applies for you if you have a degree in some other field of study, is what I did is I used all my other general education classes that I already had for, I was pursuing engineering before, a few years before starting nursing. And I used those classes to get a general science AA degree. They just send you a message just saying, hey, do you want to complete this degree? You have all the classes already. You say yes. And that alone is going to get you these extra 5 points without having to have a bachelor's in any other field of study. I did this on top of being a CNA. I think it helped me a lot. 5 points is 5 points, right? So that's the best thing I could recommend you do, is get that general science AA if you can. I also know people who didn't do it and still got in. Don't let it discourage you. Okay, there's the life experience section. I remember this part very specifically in the application process because here on the slideshow it says maximum of 3 points, but when I applied it only let me put one. 3 points, I mean, even if you get 1 point, they only allowed me to get 1 point. I only put in one of the life experiences included. But it helps. There's a lot of stuff here that may apply to you. If anything, need to work is an applicable one, especially since we all have bills to pay, right? At least most of us. Um, so try to pick one of the options they give you and go with it. They didn't ask me any questions about it, but be truthful, okay? So there is a proficiency in a second language section. I happen to speak Spanish and speak and write Spanish, so that applied to me. I got those extra 2 points. If you don't have them, no problem. Although they didn't ask me if I actually speak Spanish, but then again, in clinicals, like when they see me talking to people who can only speak Spanish, any suspicions they had are erased. So again, be truthful. 2 points won't destroy you if you don't have them, okay? So I think I covered all the important, or all the sections of the admissions requirements. The only thing I'll repeat again is try to give yourself time to finish all these classes. It's not worth it taking 2, 3 classes because you're excited and you're going to get into the program and you have these RN visions and then you have to drop out or you end up getting a D. Try not to hurt that GPA, especially if you can see yourself down the line applying to CRNA school or PA school. Or think of the future too, okay? So try to take it easy. You'll learn better too. I remember I took my time with phys. I really spent a lot of time with it. And now that I'm in the actual program, it's easy to understand concepts because my physiology understanding is solid. So try not to get W's, try not to get a D or less in your classes. It's the best advice I can give you. Look, I started in fall of 2020. I got accepted in the fall of 23. That's 3 years of bumps in the road. I had to drop a class. And if I had just taken things a little slower, I would have been maybe a semester ahead already. But it happens. But I'm sharing it with you. So no excuses. Take your time. Okay? Okay, that's all I have to share with you for now. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll make another video or just answer them in the comment section. But I think I'll be making more videos about, I think, maybe the clinicals I've done so far. I've done med-surg, nursing home. That's the first class you have to take, N1. I've been to Santa Monica, UCLA. I've been to Harvard, UCLA. I've been to Southern California Hospital, Culver City for psych. And I'll share those experiences with you later, but just wanted to get this first video out so I can stop answering the same question so many times. Kidding. Okay.